So full disclaimer before the video starts, I did do this video before the games last night. The Wings went against the Lynx, Valkyrie went against the Mystics, and the Sparks went against Mercury. So obviously the rankings won't line up with what happened, by today. But yeah, I mentioned that in the video anyway, so make sure when you're watching you keep that in mind. You may have different opinions. I still want you to leave, what you think in the comments below. And we'll try to do these weekly. We'll try to have them coincide with WNBA's power rankings just to see how our list compares to their list. But yeah, just wanted you guys to know that. And make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe when watching the video. And yeah, enjoy as it starts.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy First Degree back at y'all with another video. And I know it's been a while, but WNBA yesterday just dropped their power rankings for week 0 of the league. And let's get into it. Let's look at who they got ranked and what place they have them in. And I'll give you what my personal rankings are. Now, in fairness, I am looking at this in a hindsight view. The WNBA did this prior to the games that happened last night, so their list is going to look a little bit different than mine due to the fact that games happened a little bit after they posted these rankings. And also, as we speak right now, the Wings are going against the Lynx. And later on tonight, we got the Mystics going against the Valkyries and the Sparks going against the Mercury. So list could change by the time this comes out, maybe tomorrow or later today. And, with games happening day by day, a lot of people's lists are going to look a lot different. But without further ado, let's get right to it. Now, to start out with the WNBA's rankings, they have the the current defending champions, the New York Liberty, ranked number 1. And that is one that I agree with. I agree. Simply put, New York Liberty, they look as dominant as ever. With the addition of Natasha Cloud. That's opened up their offense. They have another threat. They got a great facilitator in her, and with everyone having to pretty much account for Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and Jonquel Jones, she's pretty much got open season to do what she feels needed. She's able to take advantage of one-on-ones, and it's going to just be a real hard team to stop as they displayed against the Aces. Their defense is great, really good there. They were pretty much able to hold the Aces to bad shooting nights except for Asia Wilson, but players like Jewel Lloyd, Chelsea Gray, and then Jackie Young, not until the second half, really didn't start getting going. So New York Liberty is still looking like the best team in the league to me, and I believe, they're going to continue looking that way throughout the season. But just through one game against another, in my opinion, top 3 team on this list, they looked really great. Secondly, they have the Minnesota Lynx, and that's another team I agree with. I also have them ranked second. I mean, just kind of similar to last year, picking up right where they left off. They looked real dominant against the Wings, who to me aren't one of the better teams in the league, but still just to assert their dominance, hold Enrique to not the best shooting night, with also getting her in foul trouble and being able to go against a nice, young team and pretty much just handle them pretty much with not too much issue. They look really good, and they're doing all of this without Kayla McBride. So the fact that they are missing one of their star players and still looking this dominant, I agree with the WNBA. I got them ranked number 2. Next up is the Las Vegas Aces. Now, the time this was posted by the WNBA, they were 0-1, but you got to look at, they were going against the best team in New York, in a lot of people's opinions, the defending champions, and they still put up a competitive fight, even with some of their best players having bad shooting nights. They were still right there in the mix of things. So if they can just get consistent contribution out of players like Jewel Lloyd, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, if Asia Wilson keeps playing the way she's playing, she's looking like she could win another MVP this year. And, they could very well jump from Team 3 to Team 1. And also, they just had a big, nice team win against the Connecticut Sun, where Jewel Lloyd had a much better night, did her thing, and the Aces are still looking like one of the best teams in WNBA. So I have no problem with the Aces at number 3, especially considering they were able to get that dub against the Suns, and they didn't look too bad against the top team in the WNBA. Next up, now, the WNBA have the Fever ranked 4. This is where our lists are going to start veering off a little bit. At the time they posted it, in fairness, I would have also had the Fever at number 4. They looked real dominant against the Chicago Sky. In my opinion, had the most dominant win over the weekend. and they really just blew them out. Once the second half of the third quarter hit, they pretty much ran away with the win. Their offense started to click, and they showed how dangerous they could look. Caitlin Clark is out here dropping triple-double games. She's looking great. Aaliyah Boston is looking as dominant as ever, and she's really looking like she's starting to come into her own within her third season. We're kind of seeing more shades of how she looked in her rookie year, but she's doing against pretty solid, defensive bigs in Camila Cardoso and Brianna Jones. So Aaliyah Boston having two back-to-back really good games, even with the loss against the Dream. I can see why they had them at number 4 prior to that loss. I'm going to go with the Phoenix Mercury, though. So far, they've only played one game, even though they're going to play again later tonight. But the game they did play against the Storm, who I think is a really solid team as well, they looked just phenomenal. Satu Sabali looked unstoppable. Alyssa Thomas looks great. Kalia Copper didn't even play. So I think that the Phoenix Sun are going to be a really hard team to beat. My prediction, I think they're going to have a very good offense this year. I see them finishing anywhere between top 3, top 5. One thing I will say, though, my only concern is, with Kalia Copper being injured right now, missing significant time, and Satu Sabali having the injury history that she has, I wonder if they can stay healthy. If they can stay healthy, I can see the Phoenix Mercury being a serious contender. They just have a great all-around squad. They got, championship pedigree with Kalia Copper. They got a bona fide scorer in Satu Sabali, and they got a great facilitator and scorer and great defender in Alyssa Thomas, who's, been flirting with the WNBA championship the past 4 seasons, either making it to the conference finals or making it all the way to the finals. They have a really good team, and they have a roster built to make it to the finals. It's just, can they stay healthy? So that's why I got them at number 4. Funny enough, next up at number 5, the WNBA do have the Mercury at 5, so we weren't too far off there. I'm gonna go somewhere that a lot of people may think I'm jumping the gun at, and I could be, but I got the Mystics at number 5. They got a really good young core, and they look great. I mean, they look really great. Sonia Citron is looking like, in my opinion, so far, Rookie of the Year in a tough, deep rookie class. Her teammate, Kiki Iafrin, is right there next to her, posting great numbers. Just her last game, she had a 17 and 14 rebound game, 17 points. She looks amazing. And, they just look like they got a Brittany Sykes is playing very efficient, leading the team as the top veteran on their squad. So, I mean, the Mystics, they're looking like a team that drafted really well and could see early success early on, quicker than we had thought. Sonia Citron and Kiki Iafrin coming into the league, they were top 3, top 4 picks, both by the Mystics, and it's looking like they were more pro ready than a lot of people had thought. The potential was obviously there, which is why they went so high, but it's looking like they're coming into the league already and already looking like just want to, like they're fitting right in. So with that being said, Shakira Austin played limited minutes, so she's not even, all the way back there yet, and you still have Aaliyah Edwards, who's, evaluating her injury. So with this team at full strength, they could be a dark horse. They could be a real dark horse. That's why I got them at number 5, respectably. And let's see how they do tonight against the Valkyries, who we'll talk about a little bit later on. Next up, me and the WNBA are agreeing once again. We both got the Storm. Now, the Storm, they started off not too well. They lost to the Mercury, who I have ranked ahead of them, so that doesn't hurt them too bad in the rankings. And they looked good against Dallas. Their guards pretty much outplayed the Dallas guards. They had a pretty nice all-around game. Nneka Ogwumike, they're all gelling really well. I think, Gabby Williams being in there, going to be there for a full season this time instead of just coming in late in last season is going to really help the team's chemistry. So the Seattle Storm, I think they're going to be always, with players like Skylar Diggins, Nneka, Ezzie McGregor, they're going to be one of the better defensive teams in the league. I can see them finishing anywhere from top 1 in defense to top 5 in defense. So they're always going to be a tough team to beat all around at every position. So, yeah, I got the Storm ranked at number 6, and it's looking good. Next up, WNBA got the Sparks ranked at 7, and this is where we disagree again. I have the Dream. The reason I'd say I have the Dream over the Sparks is because, one, although the Sparks had a pretty good game opening night, the Valkyries so far, I just don't see them as that huge of a threat. And, Kelsey Plum playing the full game, no breaks, having an insane scoring night. I think that the Sparks are going to have a pretty good offense with her, Rickea Jackson, things of that nature. But at the same time, I don't know how sustainable that is for Kelsey Plum to play that many minutes. I think she's going to have a great season, don't get me wrong. I think a lot of people harped too much on her struggles last season with the Las Vegas Aces. I feel like she was just going through a lot personally to the point that she didn't perform up to her normal standards. I expect her to be up to her normal standards this year. I just don't know if the LA Sparks are quite ready to take that next leap yet. And them beating the Valkyries doesn't show me too much. So that's why I have the Dream ranked over them so far. I don't really have the Sparks ranked too high. And yeah, the Dream, they looked really good. Brittany Griner looked really dominant against the Fever. I know they lost their first game to the Mystics, but like I said, I think the Mystics could be a dark horse team this year. And yeah, I just feel overall that the Dream, once they figure things out, I'll say this. I think the Dream will go as far as Ryan Howard takes them. If she doesn't just settle for shots, settle for three-point shots, if she utilizes her full game, I think Ryan Howard is a top 5 talent in this league, and I think the Dream can go very far with Alicia Gray. They got good rookie in Tahina Powell who can fill in at the guard position. Jordan Canada, when she comes back, that should make things a lot more easier for them with the guard rotation. And they have great bigs in Brianna Jones and Brittany Griner. So I think the Dream are around a solid, 7 right now, and we'll see how they look next. Next up, the Mystics at 8. Fever at I have the Fever at 8, with their loss to the Dream. They struggled kind of the same way they struggled early on against the Sky with just not hitting shots on good looks. So I feel like the Fever are still kind of finding the way they want to completely run their offense. But like I said, Caitlin Clark playing really good. Aaliyah Boston playing really well. Great basketball. I think running the pick and roll with them would do wonders for them. I just got to see them do a better way of implementing Dewana Bonner in the game plan. And Natasha Howard looked good against Chicago. Didn't have a great night against the Dream. But, she was missing a lot of shots that she normally makes. So we'll see. I won't look at that too deeply. It could have just been a bad shooting night. But, yeah, overall, Fever, they look a little shaky at the moment. Their victory over the Sky, we'll talk about them later. I don't think the Sky, as of right now, look too much like a good team. So that's why I still think Fever has a lot of talent, which is why I still got them in that top 8 range. But the teams ahead of them, I was just more impressed by overall. Next up at number 9, WNBA has the Dream. We just talked about them. I got the Sparks, kind of the same thing. I just don't think the Sparks, what they showed against Valkyrie, is very sustainable. Depending how they play against the Mercury, though, we'll see tonight. This could change next week. But, yeah, we'll continue to monitor that. Number 10, once again, me and the WNBA agree. The Wings, I think it's kind of similar with the Fever, but to a much lesser degree. I think they got to figure out how they want to run their offense. The Rike and Paige duo seems like they're still trying to figure out how they fit together. Me personally, I think with Paige running the offense, Rike playing off ball more because Rike has that talent, I think they could, have success doing that, but we'll probably do a little bit of a deep dive later. I think Paige is playing really good. Overall, Tara McCowan, she looked a lot better in the second game against the Storm than she did in the first game. So we can get more of that. We can get more cohesive guard play and for them to look like they really know what they want to do. I think Dallas could turn things around. I think they have the talent. It's just a matter of can they do it. They got a young head coach in there, so it'll be really interesting to see how that works out for them, for Dallas. Next up, we have a flipped ranking. 11, WNBA has the Sky. At 12, they have the Sun. Me personally, I got the Sun over the Sky. The Sun, coming into the season, we were looking at them as probably the worst team in the WNBA. But they didn't look too bad. Tina Charles is still looking good. Marina Mabrey looks like she's playing pretty well. They lost to the Aces, which, I mean, I got them as a top 3 team. WNBA has a top 3 team. I don't feel as though they are. I don't think that's a bad loss. Sky, it's not that necessarily the Fever is a bad loss either, but the thing with that is how they lost. They lost by 30. Offense looked terrible. I mean, the shooting percentage from, players like Nurse, Michaela Onowerde, Rebecca Allen, I know I'm missing somebody, Courtney Vandersloot. I mean, the shooting was off. Ariel Atkins only took 6 shots that game. I mean, 8 if you include the free throws, but overall, she's not getting enough shots. Camila Cardoso only put up about 2 shots. Angel Reese tried to take over. Didn't have the best shooting night, but she clearly looked the best out of everyone there, put in the most effort. With Tyler Marsh there, I just got to see more energy from him as a head coach to really see if this team will turn around. They play New York tomorrow, another big test for them. It doesn't look good, but we'll talk more deeply into that. They'll get their own video because, we're mainly a Sky-based channel anyway. But yeah, we'll see how that works out for them. And last, we got the Valkyrie. Not enough for me to put them over the Sky yet, just because, like I said, I don't really believe in them too much. But they did have an okay showing against the Sparks. So we'll see how that team can continue to develop. And, we'll see what they're made of. They play tonight. They go against the Mystics, who I'm saying it now. They're my dark horse, so we'll see if they can sustain that. But yeah, man, that's my rankings. That's the WNBA rankings. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Let me know who you have ranked high, ranked low. Do you agree with WNBA? Do you agree with me, or do you disagree with what we both completely said? And yeah, we'll just see how this season pans out, and we'll talk about these teams a little bit more. But that's all I got for today. We're going to try to get more consistent content now that the season has started. And yeah, I hope everybody that made it this far, have a blessed day. I appreciate you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we can keep going forward together with this WNBA season. And I'll see you later. Peace.